Beast and Beast, we're back at it yet again for another ritual. This ritual that I have found is a Japanese one. It's the game of 100 ghost stories, or it's called Hai Akumo Agatari Kai Dankai. Pardon me Japanese if it's not that good. But Kai Dan has been part of Japanese literature tradition since the very beginning. The word itself is difficult to translate. It actually boils down to ghost stories or mysterious tales in English. But it actually means much more than that. Kaiden may not necessarily be scary, although they often are. But no matter what, they include elements of the weird, the strange, the unusual, like the uncanny. It's all the things that I'm going to do on this channel. So, Hai Akuma Gatari Kai Dankai, meanwhile, is believed to have been once by a samurai a test of courage. So during the Edo period, which spanned from 1603 to 1867. But the earliest amount of the game we have dates to is 1660, and recounts to the story of several young samurai who actually undertook the challenge and done the test. And the idea was to light 100 candles and tell a series of these tales. So I've got a few tales anyway, which have been translated from this book. And it's they're quite old folklore stuff. And so I've got 10 candles set up. I'm gonna wait till it's nightfall later on. I'm gonna light all the 10 candles and then do this ritual. And apparently, the risk is like medium or something like that. It says in this book, but the reward says you get a glimpse into the unknown. So once all the candles go out, you're able to have a glimpse into the unknown and have like a reward for like playing the game with the spirits or something. So why not? Could be a group of storytellers that told that long ago. Often the answer was no. It was unusual for the proceedings to be brought to halt after the 99th tale had been told. Over the centuries, the game has evolved such that several versions now exist. So I'm going to do the single player version alone, where you just tell 10 stories. So it's like just the numbers, numerology sort of goes with that. You might choose to abandon the game after the 99th candle, or the 9th has been blown out. Obviously, I'm going to go all the way, do all 10. Just want to repeat as well, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I don't want anyone to try and repeat these things that I do in this video, because I study the occult and stuff like that. I've been trained part of the Freemasonry and Hemrick of the Golden Dawn, Golden Rosy Cross, etc, etc. So I don't want anyone to try and repeat these things, because they might open doors up and get into certain situations. But this is why I make this video anyway, so you don't have to. So like, subscribe and stuff like that if you want to see more videos like this. But I'm going to wait till later on till it's a little bit darker and we'll start the ritual. Just a quick update on the scary door that they done on the last video, where the first night anyway there wasn't really any activity, anything like that, didn't hear any whispers, didn't hear any knocks. But last night I literally, like, I can't believe I woke up anyway, like near midnight-ish, probably a little bit after, like around about the same time I'd done the ritual, and I started hearing like a whisper telling us to open the door, and I heard a little knock, like, you know. So I didn't open the door or anything like that, because obviously the book didn't tell us. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to open the door, and that wasn't there before. You can see little marks that have come up on the door and things like that. But if I open the door, you can see where the matches are, where I'd done the ritual. All the matches fell out of the pocket, but that was the one I lit. And anyway, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so apparently when I blow out all these candles, put out all these candles after I tell the 10 stories, I'll be greeted with an audience from a representative from the other side of the veil. But be no shame in halting any version of this game before completing it. Some things are just better left alone. So I've got another book here as well, which I'm going to just use to help power and stuff like that. This is my personal, like, grimoire. Is that? I think that's pretty sure what it is. I put some salt around as well. I've got an old one that I've collected as well. Got a crystal. It's called Merlin Stone. I can't really remember the full name, but I think it's a lazurite or lazurite. And also use some amethyst as well for some protection. So yeah, I'm going to tell 10 stories, and then I'll see what happens. This is called The Shadow That Waited. In the quiet village surrounded by dense woodland, people spoke of low voices about a shadow that didn't belong to anyone. It only appeared only at dusk, stretching unnaturally along across the dirt pathways, always pointing towards the forest. No matter where you stood, it never quite matched the body. A curious boy named Ellen watched it for weeks. One evening, as the sun dipped low, he followed it. The shadow glided silently ahead, slipping between the trees, never pausing. It led him to a hollow tree, ancient and blackened inside. The shadow disappeared into it. Ellen leaned closer, peering into the hollow darkness. Something moved within, like a second shadow, deeper than night. He reached out. The next morning, Ellen returned home unharmed. But something was wrong. His shadow lagged behind him, twitching at odd angles. By sunset, it no longer followed him at all. And at dusk, villagers saw a new shadow stretching towards the woods, smaller this time. Number 1. Number 2 is the Lantern of Lost Souls. After a violent storm, an old fisherman named Corvin found a lantern tangled in his nets. It glowed faint blue even in the daylight. Curious, he lit it that night. At first it was just a whisper, soft and distant. Then came words, names, pleas, regrets, carried on the wind through no one steady nearby. Each night he lit the lantern, more voices gathered, overlapping until the air itself felt coward. They told stories of unfinished lives, of things left unsaid. Corvin began writing them down, filling pages with confessions that were never his. One evening, as the lantern flickered, stronger than ever, the voices fell silent. At once, then, clear at his own voice, thoughts he heard. Corvin! His hands froze. The lantern's light dimmed. Corvin, you left something undone. By morning, the lantern was gone from his table, and his boat drifted empty near the shore. And if you listen by the sea at night, among the whispers, there is one voice still writing his story. The Witch Beneath the Hill. The hill beyond the village looks ordinary. Green, soft and gentle sloping, but nothing ever grew there. Crops planted on its soil withered overnight. People said a witch lived beneath it, not above, not aground. Beneath, she offered bargains to those desperate enough to seek her out. Luck, wealth, protection. The price was always the same: silence. Those who returned from the hill often prospered, their lives improved with strange, sudden ways, but they never spoke again. Not a word, not even a whisper. A young woman named Muriel, burdened by misfortune, decided to find the witch. She dug into the hill for hours until her shovel struck wood, a door. She entered at dusk. At sunrise, she walked back into the village, smiling, her eyes bright with something unexplainable. Within days, her life changed. Fortune followed her every step, but she never spoke again. And sometimes at night, if you stand on the hill, you can hear faint voices beneath the earth, and all try to speak all at once. The mirror that blinked. In an abandoned house at the edge of the town stood a tall, dust-covered mirror. Teenagers stared at each other and to stand before it at night. The rule was simple: stare without blinking. At first nothing happened, then slowly your reflection would begin to lag, moving a fraction of a second too late. blinking and it snapped back to normal. But if you held your gaze long enough, something worse occurred. Your reflection would blink, but you didn't. A man once tried to prove it all. Nonsense. He stood there for nearly 10 minutes, eyes watering, refusing to blink. His reflection began to smile. He didn't. Panicked, he stepped back. The reflection stayed where it was, watching him. He smashed the mirror with a chair. Glass shattered across the floor. When the police arrived, they found no man, only a broken mirror. And in each shard, a different version of him stared back, slightly begging. The bone charm. A traveller crossing a desolate road met an old woman who offered him a necklace made of small carved bones. For protection, she said. Grateful, he wore it. That night he slept soundly for the first time in days. Through he heard movements outside his tent. The bones felt warm against his chest. Each night after, the warmth grew stronger, almost comforting. The strange noises around him faded completely. Too completely. In the next village, people stared at him with unease, and elders pulled him aside and whispered, "What follows you?" He felt nothing, saw nothing. That night he removed the necklace instantly. The air grew heavy. Shapes gathered just beyond the firelight, dozens of them, watching. The bones had not been protecting him. They had been feeding. And now, without them, everything they kept away, he'd come to claim that was left. The Shadow Market. Once a year, at the stroke of midnight, a hidden market appears at the crossroads deep in the woods. No signs mark it. You have to find it by accident or be called. Stalls line the clearing, lit by dim, unnatural lights, ghost battered memories, witches traded years of their lives, shadows thin, shifting things, offer deals in the names and identities. A young girl stumbled upon it one night, afraid but curious, but wandered through the stalls. A shadow appeared, approached her and offered her courage in exchange for her fear. Tried by being afraid, she agreed. The moment the trade was made, her fear vanished completely, but so did something else. Your name, the shadow whispered, a small price. She tried to say it, but nothing came. Now she roams far beyond the woods, fearless in every danger, but unable to tell anyone who she is or where she belongs. The Whispering River. The river that ran past the village looked black even under sunlight. At night it shimmered faintly, and the people claimed and whispered they were right. A man seeking truth knelt by its edge and drank. At first nothing happened, then came the voices, soft, distant, revealing secrets as those he knew, lies, betrayals, hidden thoughts. He drank again and again. Soon he knew everything about everyone, but the voices didn't stop. They grew louder and louder, overlapping, screaming truths he never wanted to hear. He tried to block them out, but they were inside him now. Days later, villagers saw him walking into the river, calm and silent. The whisper softened after that, as if satisfied. The man without a face. Travellers on a long, empty road spoke of a figure that appeared just out of sight. When you finally turned to face it, you saw a man with no features, only a smooth, shifting surface where his face should be. He would ask a simple question. May I have yours? Those who refused said he followed them for days, or always just behind them, never sleeping, never leaving. Those who agreed were never quite the same. One woman accepted, desperate to be free of his presence. The next morning she woke with no memory of who she was, and something was on a distant road. A fearless man walked with a new smile. The Ash Child. After a great fire destroyed half a town, something remained in the ruins. A child, small and silent. Its body formed entirely of ash. At first it simply wandered, leaving a faint footprint and smouldered into the ground. And people began to notice it, watching them, from alleys, from rooftops, from the edges of the burned land. Some followed it, thinking it was just a lost survivor, and none returned. All that remained were small piles of ash, scattered where they had last been seen. The child still played there, sometimes laughed. The door that wasn't there. In an old house, long abandoned, the door only appeared at night. By day the wall was solid. Those who found it described different things beyond it. Dark forests, endless hallways, empty cities, frozen in time. A man decided to explore it, returning night after night, stepping in through into new places each time. He mapped what he could, fascinated by the shifting worlds. One night he went through as usual, but the night and the door didn't appear behind him. Now in an abandoned house, visitors sometimes hear knocking, soft at first, then desperate, coming from the other side of the wall, with no door.